Hey guys, DC here from the Christian Gaming Channel, bringing a brand new episode of the Christian's Cove Minetest Creative Series. I really should come up with a more solid acronym for this, I think. Anyways, today we're going to be going through 4 main goals. We're going to add signs to the police department, finish the fire department right over there. We're going to go over here, give you a brief preview, and do some extra road work. And we're going to go over there to that hill and add in some more trees. Because quite frankly, flat, boring land, even if it has hills, is just not pleasant to look at without extra trees around. We need more trees. Anyhow, just laying down here and get going to our first objective, and that is to add more signs here. I feel like we need more signs, honestly, purely because, well, I feel like an actual police department will probably have things with signs for those who are new there or something like that. I could be entirely wrong, though. I don't know. Anyways, let's just call this the evidence room. The way signs work in this, at least with this mod, is kind of strange. You have to be very particular about how you get things centered. It doesn't auto-center, which might be a good or bad thing depending on your personal preference. I think that's about center right there. Yeah, that's about as good as it's gonna get. I don't think a utility closet needs any signage, so we can just skip that for now. I did do one little test sign for Vicky's older brother, Matthew Lapine. As you can see, his office is very basic, but it works. And we have the workout room. I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory, but let's throw a sign on there, why not? Couldn't hurt. I hope everyone's having a good week so far. I mean, I've had a pretty decent one. Depending on what week this comes out, I'm not entirely certain. This could be coming out the week I'm recording it, or it could be coming out the week after. It depends on the workload. Okay, let's see. I guess Chief's office would be the appropriate name for this. I don't know. I've never really been inside a police department necessarily, so this is all just very much based on guesses and television shows. Hopefully I'm right. And what was up with that sign? It's glitching in my hotbar. That is very weird. Okay then. Let's see, bathroom. I feel like that probably should be labeled. And right about there. Perfect. Looks very, well, centered, I suppose. And that's just the roof. Unfortunately, I don't think... Do I have one? I do have an up arrow on my keyboard. Okay. So I think if I go over here, add the up arrow. Yeah, like that. Go over here, underneath that. And why does that look like it's one line too far? Okay, that's just the way it looks. Let's see, roof access. I guess that kind of works. It'd be nice if we actually had proper arrows, at least for the ASCII stuff. It'd be nice if I could just press my arrow key and it makes an arrow. That would be awesome. But I don't know how to do that. Either on Windows or Linux, for that matter. Android, you have the digital keyboard, so you can just mess around with it as much as you need to. On a regular desktop, though, I don't know about that. Anyways, I don't know if I ever showed off the roof or not. It's nothing special. You just had this fence up here to keep people from falling off. Other than that, it's just a basic flat fence. A flat roof. But on the bright side, you do get a very nice view of the lighthouse and all the land over there if it actually decides to generate in. You know, I think that's a pretty cool view. Now, this is another detective's office, but I'm not entirely sure which detective. So, I'll just put... What did I put up there? Detective Matthew Lapine, okay. I'll just put detective to be announced for now because I have no clue who it is. There we go. That's a good temporary name. I think that's about it for this area. Actually, no, it's not. Right over here. Helicopter pad would probably be helpful. Helipad? I'm gonna go with that. There we go. Now it's been all labeled properly. You could realistically do the bathroom name two ways, at least with the way English is here. You could call it a restroom or a bathroom. Realistically, you could go either way with that. I don't see what the big deal would be about using either name. Anyways, fire department time now. This place is built, but not furnished in the slightest bit. And, quite frankly, I don't know how I should even do it. It's a lot of municipal buildings I've never been into, short of hospitals. I don't think there's too many people that haven't been to a hospital. But I really don't know how I should make a fire department on the inside look like. I mean, I could take a shot in the dark, but other than that, I have no real clue. Standard fridge will be fine. Need some tables, I imagine, because I would assume there are some firefighters that live inside the building. Need some chairs, so get some chairs. What else? Probably need a stove. It's not called a stove, it's called an oven. It's the same thing. But whatever. I imagine they'd also have a sink. One that preferably is a little bit different than the floor. And kitchen faucet. Let's go with that for now. So I'm thinking we can just put the sink here, the stove right here. We can have counter space right there. Add that guy right there. Right here. Because the way Minetest works, if I wanted to put a pot or a pan here, this would be blocking it. So that has to be, unfortunately, just a block higher. As ugly as that can look at times. The fridge will have to be right here because we want people to open it up on both sides. Now for tables. Let's see. Just a short table like that. Could probably squeeze in about... Yeah, I don't know if I would want to be sitting next to the oven like that. Probably do it like this. It's not a lot of room, but then again, this building isn't going to be housing that many people, I would imagine. Some people might choose to live in their own homes. Yeah, that should be enough seating. Also, throw that on there like that. Now we need some counter space. And put that there. There we go, now we have some counter space. Let's see, microwave, because every building that involves a lot of people usually has one. So put the microwave over here away from the sink. Okay, that looks fairly furnished. It's nothing extravagant, but it works. Okay, like I was saying, I had to pause real quick because of something, but this should do just fine. I think. Again, like I said, I have no clue what the inside of a fire department would look like. So I'm just kind of basing everything off of a lot of guesses. Okay, for here we can make some... I hope bunk beds will be fine. I genuinely hope they will be. Because if not, I guess sorry to all the firefighters that may watch this. I hope you don't mind how I represent the building. Let's see, I need a slab, but a very specific slab. No, not that, because that would blend in. I need a very light wood slab to contrast with the oak wood floor. Like this. This will work perfectly. Okay, so if we do the beds, I don't know, like this, hopefully? Yeah, that actually works out perfectly. Now if I got to get my screwdriver out to do this. Okay, left click rotates the face, and we can rotate it on the axis. So we need, yes, like that. We need to rotate it on the axis. There we go. Sorry if my voice sounds a bit off. Allergies are super duper bad today. Unfortunately. That's just the way it is. Put that there. Now we can put this bed like that. No, a little bit higher. That's an interesting predicament. But this could solve it. As slim as that is, it can work. And it does. Awesome. That's not awesome. That's right on the window. Oh. Okay. Different plan. These are going to be against this wall. Because that would look better. Plus, it would probably give more room. I could put a table right here if I wanted to. Yeah, let's go with that. These right here. Rotate twice. I really do like how slim these are. It definitely helps with a lot of detail. I didn't want to go to bed. Thanks, game. I guess the game really wanted it to be daytime. This place has a pretty good view, too. You can see a very tall mountain over there in the distance. And obviously the Lupine Bridge. That is still such a massive bridge. I feel like we could probably get away with doing this here. I don't think that's too big of a deal. As long as the back end is connected to the wall, that's all I really care about. If it's like this in front of the window, that's not a big deal to me. Okay, now we just need to get that here, like so. Come on, there we go. And put you here just so I can get all that done in one go. Put that there and there. There we go. Now we have some bunks. Now the real question is, can I fit a ladder onto these? Okay, so ladder and chest, because we don't really have any kind of lockers or anything like that. You know what? I think I can get away with that if I use the screwdriver. This is allowing me to do so many things I shouldn't be able to. Never mind. I won't be able to get away with that. Rats. Well, we could just assume they could probably hop up. Maybe. Or just put a ladder right here. That's not gonna work either. Oh boy, I've kind of trapped myself. Well, we'll just have to pretend there could be a ladder right here. And just stick with that, because I really don't have any other alternatives at the moment. Just gonna have to live with it. I do feel like doors would probably be a good idea to have. Basic white doors should do the job. Kind of limited on door options, so I just hope this works. Okay, so go back to tables real quick and get the pine wood table, because that's the one I didn't use in here. Well, that's gotta change. Can't have the table being the same color as the floor. It just does not look right. There we go. Plus it goes together with this. So get rid of that real quick. Put a table in here. And that should do the trick. There's still walking room, and there's not going to be if I do that. Yeah, this could fit, possibly? It's going to be a little cramped, but I hope it'll work. I don't expect more than 4 people to be sitting here anyways. Okay, so this room is effectively done, hopefully. Okay, now for this room. What do I have as far as workout equipment goes? I know there's weight benches. If there were treadmills, I would add those, but I don't think there are. Just takes a lot of mouse clicking to get through. Okay. Here we go. There are beds, barbecues, books, lawn chairs and the like. Those are definitely not exercise equipment. Neither is a piano. I guess the only bit of exercise equipment we have are the weight benches. Well, that's not exactly ideal, but I guess this will let me show off that fact that the weight benches are actually fixed now. They're actually full size, unlike the last time we saw them. And those aren't centered properly. There is no way of getting around this, is there? Realistically, nothing's ever perfectly centered. More than likely, after daily use, it's probably been moved just a little bit. Okay, yeah, that works a little bit. Get a radio. You might listen to music. You never know. It's called a stereo, not a radio. I just drop this right here. The chances are it could fall down the stairs, but as long as you're careful, it shouldn't fall. Okay, so we got that done. Unfortunately, we don't have any fire trucks we could just plop down in here, and I don't know if I could feasibly fit one inside of there if it was brick built, block built. Regardless of how it's built, I don't think it's going to fit. I mean, scale-wise, this looks like a very large area to be inside of. If I had an actual fire truck that I could just drop in here, that would be nice. But we unfortunately don't. However, we do at least have this room we can put some more stuff in. I'm thinking at least a desk of some sort. Kind of like just a greeting area, or maybe where you could sign up or something. Pack again after allergies attacked again. I was trying to say that I think a counter would work here just fine. I feel like it would be a nice surrounded area of sorts. At least I hope it would be. Yeah, something like that. And then we can get one of those corner counter pieces right here. Drop this down so it's kind of just a neutral type. And there we go. We have a nice desk area where we could put some filing cabinets next and also grab a chair. It's probably under cabinet. There we go, filing cabinet. And probably get a chair next. Office chair. Get a computer. I forgot it's actually called a computer, not a PC. What else? Books? Probably. At least like some type of book. Okay, we got a book right here. Put this chair like that. Put a bunch of filing cabinets in because they probably have a lot of documentation. Like that. There we go. I feel like that's probably good. That definitely filled in the area anyways. And I think just to make it look a little more fenced off to just any old random person walking through, just grab some chain link fence parts and work with that. Hopefully. It's not going to work with me. Let's see. How do I want this? Probably, if the game would agree with me, I want to put the fence like this. Please, game. There we go. And then we just drop in the fence like that, but we have to rotate this guy. And that should open up correctly. Yeah, there we go. You know, just to keep the random people from walking in and stealing the fire truck, even though the area right here is completely open. Again, limitations of the game, we could just assume there's a very large garage door that comes down and covers this entire area. But that should be good for this section now. It'd be nice if I actually had some more stuff I could fill this in with, but I think for the time being it should work just fine. I can probably grab something like this. You know, you never know. The office greeter, desk worker person might have a picture of their family. So yeah, that should be it for the fire department for now. We can always come back later and fix this up even more. So I guess we should head on to the next section. I'll meet you guys over there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is plant a lot of trees, as you know, we kind of mentioned earlier in the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now I just want to mention that before I get into the little talking segment, the primary trees we're planting are apple trees and pine trees. I think that's a fairly good mixture. It creates a lot of nice diversity in the plant life, I suppose. Anyways, I just want to mention that I thank the Lord for helping me with these videos and, you know, being able to comment on them, because it's very difficult for me to talk in these open-ended videos because I don't know where to go with them, because I'm trying to be creative, which requires, you know, a decent level of focus. But then we also have this whole issue of I need to actually focus to talk too. So my attention is getting split between two different paths. And I'm just praying and asking the Lord for help on how I should approach these videos from here on out. I don't want to end them, but I'm feeling like there's some kind of fork in the road for this. I either continue doing it the way I am and keep struggling, because it's kind of overwhelming to try and commentate as well as build for me. A perks of being autistic, I guess. I don't really know how to put it any other way. Or I just build throughout the month and do a tour video at the end of the month and show you guys what I've done so far and talk about it. One of those two routes doesn't seem too bad, personally. I won't say which one, but, it's there. So I just wanted to mention that and let you guys know. So, back to a different segment. Alright, we're back. And, the trees aren't planted in the exact spot they were before because, issues happened with the world. So, it's a different clip now. You can see that the trees just spontaneously popped into existence right in front of me, but yeah, the trees had to be replanted again because the world that was on my computer wasn't allowing Pixel's laptop to connect. So I had to get this transferred over to a small server that I have. It's just an old desktop, but it works. So the save file I had at the time kind of had to be backpedaled a little bit in order to get everything working properly again. But regardless, the trees are there at least. And I do plan on adding more trees further down the road, just throughout the town. But, yeah, now we're going to go over to this part. We're going to start making a road here as well. And these clips are a little out of order because the original was put into a different kind of way at the time. Because I had to delete the commentary because it was just no good. So all of this is post-commentated. But we are going to basically push out the roads further, so that way we can lay down the groundwork for further development of this version of Christian's Cove. And now that we have that done, you can see here that once we go down that path, the road has been greatly expanded. It took a while because the terrain was not very friendly towards roads, but we do have it there. We even have a small side street there for future development, and we even have a railroad crossing, with functioning railroad crossing lights at that. Admittedly, like I said in the time-lapse clip, I just struggle with the commentary stuff for some reason when it comes to open-ended games. And I know not everyone cares for post-commentary, so that's why I'm debating on these two different takes. But going back to this now, I flew over here originally to kind of show off certain things. Like where that crosshair is, that's in theory where a shipyard's going to go, kind of like a dock, where all the cargo is loaded off and stuff. And also this whole mountain right here is going to be used as a park of sorts. That's the way it is in Christian's Cove, so I'm going to try my best to make it like that here as well. There will have to be a tunnel bored through this mountain though, since it's not a nature preserve, that's not that big of a deal. But it's going to take quite a lot of effort to make that tunnel, because we need to get to the other side to get to the other dock area. Because there's a certain cove that will be shown later in this clip that is actually a future campground site, so can't really put a shipyard where people are going to be just enjoying a small cove. Yeah, I don't think anybody would enjoy that, so obviously there's going to have to be some distance between those two, and we have to bore our way through the mountain. And there's going to be even further more developments down this way, because Christian's Cove is a fairly large town. It's not a city, it's just a big town. But you can see right here, this is where the shipyard roughly is on this side of the river. And it's going to be quite a challenge, to say the least, because of all those mountains being in this game. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take advantage of World Edit and just wipe those mountains out. But there's the cove/lake thing right here where the future campsite is. Ultimately, I think that's probably going to result in some log cabins and some tents and maybe a dock. So that way people can enjoy the little bit of nature that you can get. Now let's see, where did past me go to show off different things? I think we're going to go work on the library next, so yeah. Hopefully he gets there soon. There we go. So we're going to work on the library now. Effectively, it was going to be originally just the foundation, nothing else. But as time went on, we basically went further than that. The whole shell of the building was built. No roof, I think. I don't remember what we have in this clip. But there's no roof and there's no real floors or anything, just a small piece of a floor and ceiling just to kind of get a feel for how the layers should be built up. And I'll probably have it cut forwards to that so that way we can just get to there now because this video is already getting kind of long as it is. So I'll see you guys then. And here we are with the basic shell of the building anyways. This is effectively where this is going to end for this video anyways. We have the basic structure of the library built up, very much in the style of all the other municipal buildings in this town. I think it looks pretty good. The big windows are going to allow a lot of nice sunlight in, so it should be good to read by. But I'm going to definitely take some time to think about how I'm going to approach these videos from here on out. It's definitely going to require a lot of prayer, and I'd like to hear you guys' input on what you think as well. So, yeah, I guess that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you don't mind this very... I don't know how to put it in the words, but I don't think the quality is too good myself, but that's just me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless, and thank you for watching, and remember, Christ is King and Jesus loves you. Bye.